Welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to be talking about the 4 stages of learning, from incompetence to competence. And it's really important for you to understand how this applies to your habits, because usually a habit starts with a new behavior. There is this behavior that you've never done before, and you do it for the first time, and it feels really good. Well, then what's going to happen? Your brain is going to link that habit to a certain reward, which is feeling good. And you're going to start repeating it. You're going to start learning this habit. Your brain is going to start learning to adjust and adapt to this habit bit by bit until it goes from you consciously thinking about the habit and doing a habit to you unconsciously doing that habit. And when you get to that unconscious point, you have a lot less control over it than when it's conscious. That's why it's important for you to understand the 4 stages of learning and understand where your habit actually falls and under what category is your habit right now. And also, same thing goes for you when it comes to installing new habits. When you want to install a new habit, you need to also monitor the progress by seeing into what different category is the habit based in right now and where is it heading to. Until you get to the point of unconscious competence, which we're going to talk about in a second, then you know that the habit is now a lifestyle. It's an automatic behavior that gets triggered in your brain, and you don't really need to put in much conscious effort, willpower, and discipline into reinforcing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here are the 4 stages of learning. First, unconscious incompetence. You don't know that you don't know. I know that this statement might not make a lot of sense, but you'll understand it in a second, so just bear with me. The second one is conscious incompetence. Now you know that you don't know. Then you move into conscious competence. You know and you are. And the 4th stage, which is unconscious competence, you don't know that you know. Now I know a lot of you watching this right now are saying, what the heck is he talking about? That this doesn't make any sense. But I promise you, it will make sense in a second. I'll give you a quick example before I move on to the next slide and explain it in greater details. But let's say you are trying to develop more peace and serenity in your life, and you don't know how to do that. So you go on YouTube and start looking for habits to develop this calmness and serenity, and you come across meditation. Now, you've never meditated before, you've never tried it, maybe you heard about it 1 time or 2 times, but you have no idea what it is or how it's done. Well, now, so you start watching some videos about it to learn more about it. So what happened here so far? First off, you wanted more peace and more serenity in your life, but you did not know how to achieve it. This is the point where you are at the 1st stage, unconscious incompetence. You don't know that you don't know. You don't know what you can do to actually get more peace and serenity in your life. And you don't know that meditation is one of the practices that can increase your sense of serenity. So you started doing your research and you came across meditation. Well, now you're at a conscious incompetence phase. Now you know that meditation is a practice that can help you become more calm and more peaceful. But you also know that you don't know how to meditate and you don't know how to do it effectively and you don't know how you're going to react to it and how you're going to feel once you do it. And this is the 2nd stage, conscious incompetence. This is where you are. So you start doing some research on YouTube. You start, looking at different methods and all that. And you come across a breathing method that you really like for mindfulness. And you start practicing it. Now you move into your conscious competence phase. You know that meditation can help you. And you are doing the meditation practice to increase your sense of serenity and peacefulness. But you're still a novice, you're still a beginner, right? You're still experimenting, you're still trying, and the first time you're going to try it, it's not really going to be that effective. you're going to be having a lot of thoughts spinning in your head, and you're not going to be able to focus on your breath properly, but you are working on it consistently, day after day after day, and this is you also in the conscious competence phase. You are consciously developing your competence in the meditation practice. Now, when you keep doing that over and over and over again, you get to the unconscious competence phase, which is where you don't know that you know. So you don't have to put in any conscious effort anymore into the meditation process. As soon as you wake up in the morning and you sit down on the floor, for example, cross your legs and close your eyes, you don't have to put any conscious effort into what's happening. You unconsciously memorize the process and you can do it seamlessly and easily. Now let's get into another example to explain it a bit better. Let's take diet, for example. You decide that you want to start doing or having a better diet, a healthier diet in your life. And you're in the unconscious incompetence phase. Well, you know that you want to go through a diet, but you don't know what you have to do. You know what you heard maybe, eat less, do cardio, blah, 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 but you don't even know that, for example, tracking your macros instead of eating less is more effective. You don't know that other exercises can burn fat much faster than cardio. You don't know what kind of food do you need to eat for you to call the diet a healthy diet. So you're in the unconscious incompetence phase. You have no idea what's going on. You just know that you want to do something, you want to have a healthier diet, but you have no idea where to start or what to do or what to eat, right? Which moves us to the next step, which is conscious incompetence. So you went to see a personal trainer, and he and she told you about tracking your macros and weightlifting exercises to burn weight. Now you know that tracking macros and weightlifting are essential, which you didn't know before. So you know that what you have to do. You know how to do it, and you know basically what's going to happen. You have a big idea of what a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle are, but you don't know how to do it, right? When the personal trainer says, oh, you need to be tracking your macros, in the back of your head, you're going to be like, okay, well, I need to track my macros, but I have no idea what macros are. So this is you consciously realizing that you are at the point incompetent in realizing a healthy diet or a healthy lifestyle. Same thing goes for weightlifting. He says, okay, you need to do weightlifting. You're like, what the heck is that? Like, what do you mean, right? You're consciously incompetent. You consciously know that you have no idea how to do what he's talking about, but you also know the elements. You know what you need to do to get to that habit or to get to the goal that you're trying to get to. Which brings us to the third stage, which is conscious competence. So now you know that you need to know these things that you did not know before, and you are in the process of learning them. You are consciously building your competence. You start going on Google and you research what macros are. The carbs, the proteins, the fat, the calories, and all that. And you start becoming consciously competent when it comes to tracking your macros. Then you start researching weightlifting and how you can lose fat and have a healthier body. And then you start reading about it and learning about those different exercises, and you start developing your conscious competence. You understand how consciously you can have a healthier diet and a healthier lifestyle. And you keep learning, and then you keep trying them. You start tracking your macros, you start doing the weightlifting, and you start noticing progress. Now, when you keep repeating that over and over again until all the ideas and everything you learned in details are now stuck in your head that you don't even need to think about it. You go to the grocery store, you know exactly what you need to buy to track your macros properly and your macros, and then you go to the gym and you don't even have to look at your schedule. You know exactly what you need to do. Then you moved into the fourth and last stage, which is your unconscious competence. The best way to know if you got to that unconscious competence phase is to ask yourself, if right now somebody comes to me and says they want to have a healthier life and a healthier diet, can you give them advice, detailed advice on what they need to do, just like your personal trainer did? And if the answer is yes, then you know that you got to the unconscious competence phase, or you're really close to it. So you've built your competence way too much that it becomes natural for you. You can go to the gym and work out without having a workout plan. You can eat well and track your micros and macros without writing down everything on a piece of paper. Now you are unconsciously competent. And this illustration will kind of show you how the process goes. So first off, we have unconscious incompetence, which is a big circle where you have no idea what's happening. You know the big image, you know that you want to have a healthier diet, but you don't know what you need to do. Then you move into the conscious incompetence phase where you have the goal, you know that you want to have a healthier diet and a healthier lifestyle, and you start dissecting that into different circles. Each one has a certain element. The first one is diet, for example, tracking micros and macros. The second is weightlifting. The third is drinking a lot of water. So now you have the conscious incompetence. You know what you don't know, but what you need to work on. And then you dissect that and you break those down into different elements and you start working on them to develop your conscious competence all the way down until you get to the point where you repeated it so much and you became such an expert at it that now you got to the level of unconscious competence. Now this applies directly to any habit that you're trying to install in your life. If you want to create a new habit as part of your lifestyle, you're going to go through all of these steps. You're going to sit down one day and you're going to start thinking, I want to change something about my life. I want to get into better shape. Well, you don't know how to do that. So you're unconsciously incompetent. But you're going to start going on Google and YouTube and doing some research and you're going to start, developing an idea of the basic elements that you need to get into better shape and to get into better health. And now you are consciously incompetent. You consciously know what are the elements that you need to learn that you are incompetent in, and you start learning them. You start developing your skills, you start developing your knowledge, and you start consciously developing your competence, and you keep doing that until you get to the point where you are unconsciously competent in a certain area. And once you got to that point, this is the point where you develop the habit properly, and if you keep repeating it, it's going to become a part of your lifestyle. I hope this made sense, and I hope you got to understand the 4 stages of learning well, because you are going to go through these 4 stages of learning, not just when it comes to installing habits, but in any behavior that you're going to start that's going to turn into a lifestyle, any thought, emotion, or action. Everything starts with the unconscious incompetence phase and ends with the unconscious competence phase. So you need to be very well aware of those. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in the next lecture.